Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my show, Crime Uncovered, which takes place on Brand Live on every first Monday and every last Monday of every month. I've had a lot of inquiries about my book. I'm just going to quickly give you the details for that book. It is called Gotcha by Silke Kaiser, spelled Gotcha. It is available on Amazon. And also, if you go onto this Facebook page, Crime Uncovered, you will find the details there. For those of you who are listening in and would like to see me in person, please log on to Crime Uncovered now on Facebook. I am on camera. I'm live today. Today we are going to talk about something that I've worked on for about 7 years, and that is farm attacks. Now, we all know what a farm attack is. Our farmers are being murdered at an alarming rate at the moment. And these farm attacks have definitely increased in the bloodlust. And a lot of people, especially on Facebook and social media, talk about it being racial and it being a genocide. It is not. I work on the forefront of these farm attacks, and I'm going to give you the information today, and the information I'm giving you is absolutely correct. It is not a genocide yet, but we might be moving there. The reason that these farm attacks are increasing in such bloodlust and in such violence is because certain politicians talk about kill the boer, kill the farmer, and they make other utterances of being very violent towards a certain group of people. Those politicians, I'm going to say it, have blood on their hands. It is due to their utterances that these farm attacks are increasing in violence. Farm attacks are meticulously planned. It is not opportunistic, and it doesn't take a day to plan these atrocities. That is the only word to describe these attacks. It can sometimes take a year, but often less than that. At the very least 2 months, sometimes 1 month, but that is hardly ever. 2 months is normally the time frame of these being organized. And these farm attacks are meticulously planned. There is no room for error, and nothing that happens on a farm attack has not been planned. And from the time that these farm attacks are planned and the plan is in place, there is something that I call the watcher in the woods. This is a person who will watch the farm. The farm is watched 24 hours a day, obviously by interchangeable people. The watcher also needs to sleep. Sometimes I will get to a farm and I will hear the dogs barking, and the farmer will say they're barking at baboons. I disagree often with a farmer, and I will tell that farmer they are not barking at baboons. Baboons will be moving if a dog is barking at them. They will definitely start moving with their troop. Not that I'm a baboon behaviorist, but I do know that. Whereas the watcher in the woods will stay very, very still because he does not want to be detected, because obviously it draws the eye to where he's sitting. And if he had to start moving, we would notice that. So that's a watcher in the woods. So we need to talk about who organizes these farm attacks. The farm attacks are organized by a gang. It's a hierarchy of people, and it is a very, very strict hierarchy. At the bottom rung, you have the people who will approach the workers to say, let's do a farm attack. And then it goes higher and higher up in the hierarchy, and every single person in that gang does need to eat from these farm attacks. Not going to talk about who's involved in the hit squads because I've heard rumors, and I don't deal with the hit squads themselves. I deal with farm attacks where I go to a farm attack where a farm attack is planned, and I will polygraph the staff to see who's involved. So we have what's called the contact people. Those are the employees. And it is very rare that all the employees will be involved in a farm attack. Unless, of course, there's a very small complement of staff. If there's 3 or 4 people, then it is very possible that they are all involved in this farm attack. They are approached by the gang, which is called the hit squad, and they are groomed much as a pedophile grooms his or her victim. In other words, they are spoken to and they are greeted. So the people in the hit squad will greet the contact people, the employee, on the farm. Hello, how are you? How are your children? How's your mother? The next time, hi, how are you? Are you suffering with the money? And then they will probably say something like, Look how you are living, look how your boss is living. But of course, many people in South Africa have two homes. They will have their room where they live and sleep and eat while they work. And they will also have another home in Limpopo, as they say, which is Limpopo or KwaZulu-Natal, etc. And once they've got those contact people into their confidence and the agreement is made that indeed there will be a farm attack taking place, the reward for those contact people / employees is discussed and it is agreed upon. The rape, the torture, the murder is meticulously planned. It is all already planned before the attack takes place. So let's say, for example, they decide they're going to murder the farmer, because that seems to be the order of the day nowadays, that our farmers will just be murdered outright. After being tortured, the torture is absolutely horrific. There was a horrific case of a 9-year-old boy, I might be mistaken with the age, where he was drowned in a bath of boiling hot water, that the people who cleaned up that crime scene had to clean off the skin. These people have lost their humanity and they are utterly barbaric. How do you do this to another living human being? Despite our history, let's just talk about being human beings for now. To inflict this torture and to have people screaming, and yet you carry on with this rape, torture and murder, it boggles my mind. So once the contact people have agreed, the hit squad will then go ahead with the attack. The dates are provided by the contact people, and all the information on that farm is provided by the contact people. So the contact people will provide the dates, and those dates, there's more than one date and more than one time. So let's say, for example, they decide they're going to do the farm attack today. Today being the 4th of March, they might say 6 o'clock in the morning when the farmer goes down to the chicken house, not sure what they call it. Or if the farmer's wife is leaving at that time with the children to take them to school, then that could take place at 6 o'clock, or it could take place at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to warn farmers at this point again, and I've told farmers again and again and again, do not be lured out of your house. I don't care if the most trusted employee knocks on your window and tries to get you out of your house. It's a farm attack. Don't go out. It doesn't matter if they start killing your animals. It doesn't matter if they set your store on fire. Get Farm Watch in. Do not budge from inside of your house. Do not. So back to the planning of the farm attack. So if the hit squad walk in there, they walk into the house. So firstly, they know the distances. So let's say they're going to enter at a place. Obviously, they do not enter at a place where there would be any jeopardy. They would know about the dogs. They would know about the guns that are on the property. They would know about alarm systems, pepper spray, anything like that they would know about. So once they're inside the house, if one person in that hit squad change their mind about the rape, torture or murder, the entire hit squad will change their mind. And this is because the belief in witchcraft runs its thread throughout crime in South Africa. The hit squad mostly does consist of South African people and often of Zimbabweans. Sometimes it'll be Malawians and Angolans, but most it'll be Zimbabweans. And this is because the people in South Africa that form part of the hit squads, they believe, falsely or correctly, that the Zimbabweans are better educated than they are. And therefore, this will heighten the chance of the farm attack being a success. The hit squad are cowards. They will not commit a farm attack if they feel there is any jeopardy around them. When I say jeopardy, any danger around them. So when we get to a farm attack and we realize it's in the planning stages, we get the information from impimpies or informants. I work with a gentleman called Lucas Swart, who gets a lot of information. In fact, he gives me all my work. He refers me. So by the time I get to a farm and the attack is planned, I've already got a lot of information thanks to Lucas Swart. He has saved hundreds and hundreds of farmers' lives just because he knows how farm attacks are organized and how they are carried out in South Africa. So my job is very easy. I just go in and polygraph the staff, and then I'm told, my system will tell me deception indicated or no deception is indicated. So then if the hit squad are in there and they change their mind about the rape, murder or torture, it will not go ahead. The main aim of all farm attacks is guns, money and jewelry. Again, not genocide, not racially motivated. I really want to repeat that. And even in urban areas, when they break into your house, guns, money and jewelry equals cash. Guns is a huge, huge reward for them. So if you have a gun in your house, you're definitely putting a target on your back. If they walk in and you don't have your gun at ready, they might very well use your own gun to shoot you. And this is the same on farm attacks also. The farmers can't carry their guns all the time. They often carry them in holsters, but if they are surrounded by 3 or 4 people, what are they going to do? They will not have time to draw their gun. In a farm attack as well, there are always spotters. There are people outside watching. If the farm watch arrives, they will phone the people inside, their colleagues, their accomplices inside, and say, get out of there quick, because farmers do have radios and sometimes they are able to get onto that radio. We are going to carry on with this talk. I'm going to go to an advert break, and please stay tuned and I will finish the story up for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
The witty Tatterbots join myself, Carmen Murray, and my double trouble, Jessica McIndoe, with our big personalities, and we will present you with an insightful yet fun show. We will feature interviews with industry heavyweights and unpack everything from new technologies, marketing trends, and case studies to empower you to be ahead of the curve.
Brand Live.
Join us on this exciting journey every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock and start a conversation on hashtag Witty Show. Hashtag WITEE.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za, an industry first in the world of internet radio. Not only are we an internet radio station, we are an internet radio platform for your brand. So why not expose your brand to potentially thousands of listeners and improve your customer relationships and brand equity with podcasts and live broadcasts? Be sure to check brandlive.co.za for more information. brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of internet radio. You're listening to brandlive.co.za.
And welcome back to Crime Uncovered. We are talking farm attacks today. And I've discussed already that the farm attacks are not racially motivated and they're not genocide, even though it feels that way. I've spoken about the fact that some politicians talk about bloodletting and that this has an absolute effect and a definite effect on farm attacks and the reason that they're becoming so violent. In fact, there are very few farm attacks where the plan is just robbery. It is always nowadays, it seems to be murder. I've spoken about the hit squads, and I want to mention something else about hit squads. The hit squads, this amazed me when I learned this. The hit squads, the South Africans, will never ever commit their crimes in the area in which they were born. And this is because if they are arrested, they don't want to bring shame on their family. So it is not shameful to rape, murder, or torture another human being, even if that is a child, but it is shameful to be arrested in that area. I also want to talk about the animals that they torture. They will often disembowel the dogs or they will stab the dogs. There is no mercy whatsoever in these farm attacks nowadays. The brutality is mind-blowing. And if the government does not do something, we are going to have a genocide. And unfortunately, it is the government's duty to protect these farmers. They solved that case in the Eastern Cape where those 5 cops and 1 soldier were so tragically killed by the cult, Angels of God. They solved that in less than 72 hours. To solve a farm attack is much easier than that. And yet the government does nothing. And the government, if you don't start doing something, you are going to have blood on your hands as well. We've got a new president now, Cyril Ramaphosa. This is your chance. Please, we need task teams. We need sophisticated technology. Let's stop these farm attacks in their tracks right now, because it is going to start threatening the food security. I also want to mention that 4% of all farmers in South Africa are black. Hopefully, this will definitely increase tenfold, because these black farmers are amazing in what they do. I mean, they really did teach me some things about farming, even though I have no interest. But I want to say that the black and the Indian and the colored farmers are as much at risk as the white farmers of a farm attack. There is no difference in their risk and their vulnerability to becoming part of a farm attack. The motivation of farm attack is a disgruntled employee. That's it. Just make sure, with the farmers, I want to say this to you, make sure that you always have your wages written in stone. Don't make promises to your employees that you cannot keep. About 2 years ago, I attended to a farm attack where the farmer, it was sheep. He farmed sheep as well as other animals and also grew vegetables. And he had said to his staff members, if the sheep do well, if we make a lot of money out of a sheep, I will give you a bonus. The sheep did not do well, and nobody got their bonus. And that was the motivation for a farm attack. And when I do my polygraph testing, I always take a statement first, because I am dealing with humans. I'm going to get to that part now. And the people who worked for the sheep told me we did not get our bonus. They did not understand that there was no bonus because the sheep did not do well. All they understood is that a bonus was promised to them and the bonus was not paid. A word about farm workers, I absolutely adore them. They might not be very educated due to Bantu education, because apartheid still has a legacy in South Africa, and there is still an effect of apartheid in South Africa. We are kidding ourselves if we say no because of 25 years, etc., etc. That's hogwash. There's definitely an effect still. But the farm workers are very curious. They are highly intelligent, highly intelligent, and incredibly observant. And the farm workers who are not involved will often give me information in a roundabout way. For example, the one time I went to a farm attack where I was polygraphing and the attack was planned, and one of the ladies who cleaned the house sat down, and I hadn't asked her anything, and she just said to me like this, I don't know what happens in the shebeen down the road. She was telling me in a roundabout way that the attack was being planned in the shebeen, and that the perpetrators were sitting there drinking together, and that the plan was being formulated there. So she told me that, and often when I leave the farm, after I've polygraphed everybody, we do take action. We do take action with those who fail their polygraph test. We do. We, in fact, make them leave the farm immediately. Because if the hit squad don't have contact people to plan the attack with anymore, and they don't have the fresh information, the plan will fail. And the other farm workers will always sort of thank me. The women often hug me, and the men are just so grateful, and they'll walk me to my car carrying my equipment. And that shows me, again, that most South Africans, we're just such an amazing bunch of people. And rape, torture, and murder, and even theft, when I tested for theft in the workplace, the innocent people, it doesn't sit well with them. I want to say again, 90% of all South Africans, we are sharp. We are number one human beings. Truly, truly we are. And me having worked on farm attacks has been an amazing honor. So I want to talk about a man called Sipho. I'm going to use his real name just because it is such a common name. Not insulting any Siphos out there, but it is a usual name. It's an easy name as well to remember. And I did a test on a farm, I won't say which area, and there were 3 people involved. Sipho was one of them, and then there were 2 women involved. Women, I found, are normally more involved than the men. I don't know why this is, but that's a fact. And the 2 women absolutely denied it. And when I sat Sipho down and I said, Sipho, the machine is showing me that you are busy planning this attack. He just kept quiet. He did not argue with me. And I said, Sipho, you have to take your things today and you must go. And you can take whatever you need from your room today. We will lock your room and the rest of your things. They are going to be very safe. And when you want to fetch those things, you're just going to phone the farmer and you will tell the farmer, today I want to fetch my things, and there will be no problem. We will let you fetch your things. Remember, I cannot call the police because no crime has been committed. We only know of a plan that is in place for a farm attack. So before we get rid of people as well, there are 3 different methodologies whereby we prove that the attack is in place. One is through the informants, one is through my test, and the third one I'm not going to mention today. And Sipho said to me he just needs to go to town now before he takes his things. So I said, okay, that's fine, go to town. He went to town, he came back and he sat before me. And he said to me, Mummy, I just had to change my number. And I understood why. He could not tell me why, but I understood why. Because now the hit squad could no longer get hold of him. I did feel that those 2 ladies who were involved had included Sipho. He was the gardener, and they needed the one gate to be opened for them so they could get over the gate because there was hectic electrical fencing and palisade fencing. So that is what he was going to do. And Sipho, then I said to Sipho, I understand why you needed to change your number, but please give me your number so we can phone you if we need to. I will not give the number to anybody else. Sipho then said to me he's waiting for a bakkie to come and fetch all his things. He's leaving in one go. And then he said to me, I want to say I'm so sorry. I said, we accept your apology. And because he was religious and I had ascertained that he went to church, I absolutely respected his religion. And I said to him, you know that God is going to forgive you for this. And he said, but how? I said, because you are sorry now. So you go back into church and you admit your sin, just to the priest, to nobody else. The farmer then came in and he also said to the farmer, I'm sorry. And the farmer said, for what? Because obviously the farmer needs validation. He needs an authentic apology so he can work on forgiving. But Sipho can't say what he's sorry for. The sorry was enough. And I said to the farmer, you cannot ask Sipho what he's sorry for. And Sipho went to fetch his stuff, packed it all in the bakkie. He came to say goodbye to me. Sipho and I both cried. We both cried under that hot African sun because Sipho got involved in this. He was coerced. He was intimidated into this. I understood that. And sometimes that is what happens in crime. People are forced into stuff they don't want to do. Even in Cash in Transit House, which will be another talk on its own, we have the same issue. And I think that will conclude my talk on farm attacks. Again, I talk about this extensively in my book. And again, I'm just going to mention my book again, not punting my book. It's just that I've had so many requests about buying my book. My book is available at Scoops, which is a shop in Monte Cassino. It will be available in all leading bookstores within 3 weeks' time. And if you go onto Crime Uncovered, you will see where to get hold of me, and I'm happy to post your book. The price is $280. And we will chat again on the 26th of March, that Monday. I'm hoping to have an amazing talk for you. We are just busy with a lawyer to see if I may talk about the subject. I don't want to get myself into trouble. So hopefully the lawyer will say yes, and then I will be back with you on that day. Until then, stay safe.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
brandlive.co.za.
Lunatic, 'cause I do what I want, and I get what I want when I want it.
You know life can be so ordinary. Boy meets girl, they said, oh, make a baby.
brandlive.co.za.